We are coming on the air tonight following three big stories involving the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League. The Erie County Legislature has now signed off on the new stadium agreement, paving the way for a groundbreaking next month. Meanwhile, we're hearing about ongoing repair work to the old stadium to make sure it stays safe until a replacement is ready to open. We'll look into the cost of that. And then the story breaking earlier today, the state attorney general here in New York opening an investigation into allegations of discrimination within the NFL. We will get to all of that, beginning with the historic vote that happened this afternoon in Old County Hall. It was unanimous, all 11 members of the Erie County Legislature approving the new stadium deal that was negotiated by the county, the state, and the Buffalo Bills. We've pretty much known this was going to happen, but it still signals an important step in the construction of the $1.5 billion facility. I talked about what this day means and the path forward with Marc Ganis. He's a sports consultant who has worked on a lot of these new stadiums. Marc, as always, we appreciate you taking some time for us. So now that it is officially official, everything is signed off here to build this new stadium in Western New York. Using your experience in seeing so many of these deals go through over the years, what should we be preparing for over the next several years as we look forward to a new home for the Bills?
Well, a number of things. First, people should take a minute and just celebrate this day. This is the culmination of more than a decade. It goes back to the Ralph Wilson days of trying to come up with a permanent long-term solution for the Bills in Buffalo and for the team to remain in Buffalo for generations to come. This took a tremendous amount of work by a lot of people. Some days look darker than others, but today is the day it is all finished. And now we can start looking forward to seeing a hole dug in the ground, steel and concrete starting to be erected, the stadium starting to take shape, and the fans getting more and more excited as the next 3 years, next 36 months come and go to the opening of the stadium in 3 seasons.
And Marc, again, building off your experience in dealing with these types of projects, as we look at the design and what this stadium is going to be, fewer seats than the current stadium. Some people wanted it to have a roof, right? It doesn't, although it does have more of an overhang than we have right now. And then, of course, all of the upgraded amenities. It's been a while since we've spoken to you. What do you make of the design as we understand it right now and how it's going to fit in here in Western New York?
The design is a great football stadium. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's not trying to be SoFi Stadium in LA. It's not trying to be a multi-purpose facility that that you'd have in other major cities because of all the events they'll get every single year, every single quarter. It's a football primary stadium focused on the fans of the Bills. That's really what it is. That's what it was planned to be. And that is what it is designed to be. So it's going to be fantastic for the fans of the Bills. What it is not is a stadium or a facility that would attract lots of other events because they're not going to come to Buffalo anyway. So why put all of that money into it? Public money, private money, cost of operations. Why put all that money into something that's not going to generate the events that it would in a place like Los Angeles or Chicago or Atlanta or a market like that? So this is exactly the right stadium for this market, for this team. It is going to blow people away. You know, sometimes for a while people focus on what something is not. Wait until they see what is coming out of the ground. Wait until people actually go to the stadium the first time, the second time, the third time, and they keep discovering new places, new features, new beautiful designs, new conveniences. It's going to blow people away, especially because what they're coming from is frankly a stadium that is at least 2, if not 3 generations old, with very few amenities. So I think it's going to excite people, and it's going to actually increase the Bills fan base. People who may have not cared to go to a Bills game are now going to want to go just because the stadium is there, and they want to experience it with other people from the Buffalo area. It's going to be something very, very special.
And Marc, as we look forward to, I mean, we're thinking that there's going to be this groundbreaking about a month from now. Obviously, several years to build this thing. Thousands and thousands of workers, hundreds and hundreds of different companies. Help us understand the scale of something like this as you've witnessed it in other markets. I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest things we've experienced in Western New York in the history of this area.
Not one of. This is going to be the biggest construction project in the history of Western New York. It is going to take a tremendous number of people to work on it, which means many, many families are going to earn their living. They're going to be able to pay their mortgage. They're going to be able to pay their credit card bills. They're going to be able to pay for their tuition, for their cars, based on the construction of this one project. You're going to have, at the groundbreaking, you're going to have the leadership, Governor Hochul, the Pegula family. You're going to have, I'm sure, Roger Goodell there also. And let me tell you something from the inside. I know some of the interactions, quite a few of the interactions that took place between the league, the Bills, and the state. This was a true team effort. When Roger shows up there, I hope the Bills fans appreciate and recognize just how much work from the league office went into this, just how much effort Roger personally put into speaking with Governor Hochul and other political leaders, speaking with Terry and Kim Pegula and Ram Rakuya to make this project a reality and a success and something that would be great for the Bills fans going forward. The NFL worked very closely on this project, maybe more than people understand. This was an important project to the league, and it was important to them for one primary reason: the fans. Buffalo and the Bills team have among the most fervent, deep, and committed fan base in all of sports. This was the way the NFL could recognize how great the fans have been. They put forth not only effort, but hundreds of millions of dollars of money from the other team owners to help subsidize this stadium for Buffalo and for the Bills fans going forward.
Marc Ganis is founder and president of Sports Corp Limited and an insider on these stadium deals. Thanks so much for sharing some of your insight with us, Marc. Good to see you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Good luck, guys. This is going to be very special.
Thank you. And now we turn to the current home of the Bills and the big reason why we're getting a new facility after all. Highmark Stadium is old. We've reported on structural issues there over the years, especially with the upper deck, which had to undergo some extensive and expensive rehab work to reinforce it after they found some cracks during inspections. It will cost the state and the county millions more dollars each year in order to keep the current stadium safe while the new one is built. Keep in mind, the current lease requires the county and the state to chip in a couple $1,000,000 a year for these capital improvements. The county's Public Works Commissioner told lawmakers that it will remain safe enough, though, for the Bills to stay there all the way through the new construction.
The upper deck, we did major improvement back in 2017, reinforcing the upper deck. And what we had on that was about a 10 to 15 year life expectancy. So that's going to push us into the 2028, 2029 timeframe. Hopefully, like I said, we'll be demolishing the upper deck before we hit that life expectancy.
So we shouldn't anticipate the Bills playing elsewhere. It looks like we're going to be okay as long as the stadium's completed by 2028.
Yeah, yes, sir.
In terms of that timeline, remember the Bills are supposed to be playing in the new stadium by 2026, so it would be well within that time frame. County lawmakers were told that the millions of dollars in taxpayer money that's going to the current stadium won't be used on any big new projects. It will instead be spent on making sure it's structurally sound until the replacement is built. Demolition of Highmark Stadium is scheduled for 2027.